I was not by any means expecting the reaction I got on my most recent video about the revitalization. And after I did that video, gentrification, the topic of gentrification, it kept coming up. It kept coming up in my comments and the feedback I was getting and things like that. And it was really heavy on my heart. And I actually been like sick the past like 3 or 4 days. Like pretty much haven't even been able to get out of bed. And I'm glad to be better now. I'm thankful for that, for my health. But it gave me a lot of time to think. Even up until today, where I finally kind of got out and about and was getting some things done, it gave me a whole lot of time to think about the subject of gentrification. And for some reason, it was just heavy on me. And so it led me down a interesting path that I wanted to tell y'all more about. So basically, I hung out with my best friend, maybe. This was probably like 2-3 weeks ago. And this was one of the most memorable nights that we pretty much did nothing, but we did everything. And she's like a sister to me. And I've actually had somebody tell me that me and her, we're like the female Biggie and Andre 3000. Because my best friend, she is short. She's an Aquarius. She's fun. She's spontaneous. She's the life of the party. People love her. And then I'm a Gemini. And I'm quiet. And I'm shy. And I'm more earthy. And I'm socially awkward. And things like this. And so we were hanging out one night. And we started at her apartment. And we're like, you know, drinking wine. And she recently moved downtown. And we're like, let's get out and do something. So we get in the car because it was cold when we actually could have walked. And we, you know, drove like right across the street. And we parked and got out. And this new bar is really cool. It's black owned. And so it wasn't too packed. But we sat at the bar, we talked and laughed, and then we played pool. And then we decided to ride around the city, just laughing and talking because gas prices are super low right now. And we went down another street on downtown, and we went to this little chicken shack that's in front of this local club. And we got us 2 chicken plates, these huge chicken plates with like fried chicken and fries and like the bread. And your bread has to get a little bit, like it get a little like soft from the heat. I loved it. And so we were supposed to go meet our other friend, but we decided not to. So we went back to her place, lit up the windows. We drank wine, looked across the freaking skyline of downtown. We ate and we laughed all night. And so she ended up telling me this story that night of a guy who she bumped into one day. She was leaving her apartment, which we both know we went to school with. And, you know, she was like, oh, you know, she was like, I didn't know you lived here. And he was like, yeah, I've been living here. I recently moved in and I live on the top floor. And I'm the only person on the top floor right now. And he basically goes on to tell her this story of how one day he was kind of just bumping around on the top floor, messing around with the doors. And he ended up going into a vacant apartment there. And he said he walked into the apartment, he heard something, and he's thinking, you know, I'm supposed to be the only one on this top floor. And so he goes into the bathroom and he sees this homeless man on the floor of the bathroom. And so he runs out because he's scared and he calls the police and all this. And so, you know, they end up coming to get the homeless guy, escorting them out and all this. So my friend is going on to tell me this story. And I could tell, you know, she's a little agitated by it. So I'm just listening. You know, she's like, girl, that doesn't make any sense. All this money we pay, you know, their security should be better. And I know he walked in behind one of the residents who was just using their key, you know, to get in the lobby and go to the elevator. And I know he probably just sneaked in and just took the floor to any room he could find and things like that. And I'm just listening, and, you know, it was a part of a string of stories from that night. And so I'm not really thinking much of it other than, you know, I'll just wish her safety. Like, I wish her the best as far as, like, you know, being safe and things like this. And, so that night, I was just kind of, you know, looking around, and she had the place all decked out for Christmas, and it was so beautiful. And I'm thinking about, like, how far my friend has come, how much she's gained. And she's the type of friend that, you know, she just told me a couple weeks ago, yeah, girl, I went to Bath and Body Works, and I bought these new candles, and I just love candles. I love these new candles. I said, well, you know, she said, well, they had a sale and all this. And I said, well, how much were the candles? Girl, I just spent $80 on the candles. Really, girl? You went and spent $80 on candles? Really? Really, sis? $80? Girl, that was their best sale of the year. They only had that sale like once a year. And I'm just like, okay, whatever. But I'm just thinking, like, wow, you know, her parents must be really proud of her. She must feel so great to have this burden lifted off her, to be done with school and finally in her career and things like this. And I'm just thinking of how proud of her I am, and how, you know, now little black girls can look up to her. She's, you know, making great money in a career of her dreams, you know, all the things she had to overcome to get there. And she must be proud, and to know other people can look up to her and use it as a testament, it made me feel good. And so I was, you know, flushed with all these thoughts. And that really started making me think, you know, because then I started thinking about my really good friend who moved his business, actually his second location, to Atlanta. And every time I visit, it's a really nice bricked, kind of urban-esque kind of had this grunge downtown look to it. And you can tell it's a building that has been restored, and you can go on the rooftop and chill. And once you look out, you can see the Atlanta skyline, and you see the cranes and everything that's just being built up everywhere. And every time I'm there, you know, him and his wife, they'll take me to like the new vegan downtown spot, or the, you know, just the hippest, new, nicest spot in downtown Atlanta. And then I started thinking about my cousin in Atlanta, who's a nurse. And I think he's probably been there for maybe like 5-6 years now, probably even longer. And the last time I talked to him, he like, oh yeah, I had to move out of Atlanta. I had to move to the suburbs, because the city, you know, I guess he think, oh, since he been there for a while now, you know, he feel like he not new to this, he true to this. So he basically, you know, just moved to the suburbs. He felt like it'll be a little slower pace. He can kind of get out of some of the traffic and, you know, get away from the city a little bit. And then I started thinking about all my cousins in Dallas. All my cousins who moved their wives or their families, packed up everything, moved to Dallas. And there's one particular cousin-in-law. I visited Dallas about 2 years ago on my birthday in particular. And I'll never forget the look in her eyes. It was this excitement, and it was this passion. And she was just telling me, man, Rhonda, you gotta come out here. You gotta come out here, Rhonda. You gotta come out here. It's so much money. It's so much money. Like, I'm making more money than I ever could have made back home. I'm trying to get my mom out here. I want my little brothers to come out here. Man, I want my brothers to be more safe. I want them to have opportunities. Man, Rhonda, you gotta come. It's money to be made. Like, it's here. It's here. You just gotta come get it. You could get a job and like you will be working in like 2 weeks. And then I started thinking about my classmate who I had brunch with a couple of weeks ago, probably like 3 weeks ago, and we're, eating breakfast and drinking our little mimosas, and she goes on to tell me that she's been living in Dallas for, I think she said like 4 or 5 years, and I was like, wow, girl, I didn't know you've been out there for that long. And she was like, yes, I love it, and I would never come back. Like, I would never come back. She said my sister finally moved out here. She said I'm really trying to get my mom to move out here now, but she said I love it. And she said the crazy part about it was I came out here with nothing. She said I knew two people in Dallas. I packed up every single thing I had. I put it in my car. I drove to Dallas and I never came back. Like, I had a job within 2 weeks. She said, and now I'm making way more than I was making then. I'm loving what I'm doing. I love the city. And then I started thinking about my cousins and friends and classmates and associates and neighbors who have moved to Houston, Dallas, Atlanta, LA, who own businesses and either open up second locations or they move their businesses to these new cities and now are making more money than they ever made here. And I just started thinking, wow. I mean, it's so many people that I can name my age doing amazing things, living the life of their dreams, pursuing their careers, making things happen, starting businesses. And it's this feeling of it's a feeling of happiness and excitement that hit me. But then I started thinking, did my friends, did my family, did my neighbors, did my former coworkers, did my classmates ever stop to think I am taking opportunities from residents that are already here? Did they ever stop to think maybe I am pushing people out? Did they ever stop to think that because of me taking advantage of this economic boom, that I am helping increase the prices of things here? Did my best friend ever stop to think that maybe that homeless man lived in that building at one point in time, but now maybe he can't afford to live there anymore? Did any of them stop to think about that? Or did they all just think, man, we getting money. I'm making more money than I ever could have made there. I felt like that opportunity was destined for me. I felt like I could find a better life. I felt like I could pursue my career. I felt like I could start a family here, build a home here, start my business here, open up my second location here. I can have a better life. I can make more money. I don't think any of them stopped to think, man, those positions in Dallas, those buildings going up in Houston, that's not for me. That's not for us. That's for white people. Man, they doing that for white people. That is not for us. I'm not packing up my car and going to Dallas just so they can get all the jobs to white people. Or did they think I see an opportunity and I want it? This is the chance to create a better life for me and my family. And the crazy part about it is that What I'm sitting here saying is not wild. It's not completely unfamiliar. It's not unfathomable. It's not unfathomable. You know what I'm trying to say? It's not ridiculous. It's not unheard of. These are people I know personally, and I'm sure you watching. You have a friend, you have a neighbor, you have a family, you have a classmate, a previous coworker that got up, moved, took everything they had for the chance at a better life, to make more money, to do something different, to see a new city, to start a new life. And some of these friends, some of these classmates, some of these family members, not all of them, but some of them are going to be the first generation of help pulling their families out of debt. Some are going to be the first to have assets and be able to leave things for the next generation. Some of them are just continuing what their parents started and creating a life that they always wanted, pursuing their careers. And I'm happy for them. All of them young, all of them black. Every single one that I just mentioned. And not for 1 second do I think they did it with any ill intent to push anybody else out or to reject anybody else. So is that too gentrification? Is that not gentrification because they're black? Is it not gentrification because they are just reaping the benefits of these economic booms and they're not the actual investors? Do they fully understand the systems that they have taken part in and reap the benefits from? Do they understand how when you move to the it city or the places with these economic booms, you are aiding in the prices raising, people moving out, jobs being taken, new apartments going up, new Whole Foods and Publix and Starbucks and vegan spots. Oh, and let's not even forget about the cool art districts. So, I'm proud of them. I'm proud of them. I wish the best for them. And it really had me started thinking. The more I thought about these stories, some of them with college degrees, most of them with college degrees, and some not. That can really be a testament to a lot of young people. And so I'm totally open to having conversations about gentrification. But if we are going to have conversations about gentrification, they are going to have to be open and completely honest.